Thank you.
Rob, go ahead.
Last year we got together and we talked a little bit about our reporting system. What we do, kind of introduced the fact that we're open for change. We're open for adjustment. And had that communication. We talked about other options. Options being one of the other large inspection software providers in the industry. We talked about possibly writing our own code. You know, going back to, I know Rob remembers, he would be the only one that would remember 1997, 98, when we had our own code. We wrote it, we maintained it. It was designed from our handwritten report. And so it was basically take handwritten and type it. And it had some robustness to it. And we were pretty happy with it. The trouble is, we lost our programmer to retirement. So we didn't have anybody that could support it. So that's when we picked our provider, 3D. And we looked, and we're playing with that this year. And we realized it's probably the best one for us. I know there's other ones out there, but it's the best one for us. It's the one we know. It's the one we support. We know where the bodies are buried in it. And as Andrew and I were putting this session together, and it's going to be kind of robust, we put this little binder together, and there's a moderate outline in this on the second and third page of what our goals are for this session. And I want it to be very tactile. I want it to be very interactive. Please do a small favor, and if there's a question while we're going on the topic at hand, spit it out, yell, scream, holler, kick us in the knees. But if it's something you see on the outline that's going to be in a little bit, we'll hit it then. That way, it's kind of like the home inspection, right? I'm setting the stage. You know, this is where we're heading. This is what we're doing. We're going to go top down. We're going to go around the horn. But let's try to stay, in that flow.
Rob.
Yes, sir.
Real quick question, just to start. Are we, as franchise owners, obligated to stay with 3D, or are we allowed to switch to Home Gauge or whoever else?
There's nothing in your FDD that says you have to use our software. There's not. But if you want to talk about branding, we're going to talk about branding. Do you want to be the orphan? Do you want to have a product that doesn't look like everybody else? We're getting larger and larger and larger. And we're having franchisees that are getting direct benefit from another inspection by one of you. So if a franchise A does an inspection, don't you want the reciprocal inspection someplace else? Now, I'm hoping you're going to see the robustness of this product and some of the things it does that maybe you didn't know it could do. We're going to try to hit that. We're going to try to show you today some of the other elements that we might not be taking advantage of. Some of you are using them. But one of the interesting things that I wanted to show is, in this book, I've got a report I printed. Just a random report done by one of our local inspectors in February of 2014. And it's what the standard Chicagoland Brickkicker inspection looked like. And it's kind of in the middle of the book, yellow tab. I'd say, because I don't have them labeled, but you'll see it's behind a slip sheet. It says February 2014. And when you look at that report, it's got the cover sheet. It's got all that information in it, but then there's no real pretty beauty shot. There's no real pretty cover sheet. Pictures are kind of hilly-nilly. They're kind of just put in there. Then there's annotations of numbers, letters, and all those things. We used at that point photo galleries, photo sheets. Then I took a little bit later, and there's a picture of a home called December 2016 Standard Report before branding. If you look at that report and then go to the very next tab, and you're going to see after branded. That is the same report, same house, same language. One has been done where we've rebranded 3D in its formatting to have pages break separately, sections break separately, pictures break separately. That's also, we've removed the annotations. The A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm practicing now. I went to public school. I get all 27 of them, sometimes in the right order. Sometimes backwards.
Only during the Friday test.
So, the interesting thing we found, if you're writing a report, so Chris, I'm going to pick on you, my brother. You're writing a report today on that computer, and you're in exteriors. A is building, right? Exterior. B, we got trim. We just write down the list, right? Go to soffits, go to all those things. Have you ever used not applicable on a section? Probably, right? Have you ever just skipped one? Didn't have it. And you didn't check the little box over on the left that says you saw it, but skipped it. So now all of a sudden, public school now, you ready? It goes A, B, D, E, H. And your client's going to look at you and go, this knucklehead can't spell? What kind of crap is this? It's very confusing. If you're a summary person, isn't it when you put the summary click, it sends it over to the summary? Doesn't it say the heading already? So why should it confuse somebody and say, building exterior, soffits, C, in the summary? It's confusing. Instead of just call building soffits. So we've rebranded that to now just be headings. Get rid of the annotations. They don't need to be there. So that's one of the changes we're going to talk about today. And I just wanted to show you, and we'll go through each of those sections of how we did it. One of the things we did, now if you want to bear with me and go to the second tab in that book. Through trial and error, we found the best graphical printed preference for setting up your 3D. And it's a tab that looks like this, ladies and gentlemen. When you use 3D, and you have to and I'm just going to get this one. You have to have you have to have a report open. And if you have a report open, if you go up to File, there's a Page Setup tab. And in the Page Setup tab, this is where you can go left to right. Because right now, in the middle of writing your report, type it away. Have you ever written a comment and then all of a sudden the heading's on this page and then the rhetoric is on the next page? It just breaks really weird. And, again, you get confused in the message. Or isn't it annoying to you're right, you get done with interiors, and here comes the first bathroom, and it's cut in the middle, and the rest of the bathroom's on the next page? This is what we've done to solve that. So if you followed the steps that I've created and have yours follow each of these 6 things, that's going from general, that's a header document, make sure each of these look this way, your reports will look like the output of the last one in this book, post-branding. To go to what Rod was asking, no, you don't have to do this. But we've found this to be an excellent solution and an excellent workaround. So just for instance on this with the form, I'm saying now that every time by hitting 5.0 versus the 2.0 that's in yours, or 2.5 that's in yours right now, I'm saying whenever there's less than this half a page left, a new section can't start. So that it's almost never going to happen. And what you'll see between the report pre and the report post branding, it's added 5 pages to the output. We're not printing. That's just 5 pages of the PDF to our clients. At the end of the day, visually, it's much more appealing to our clients. So we've gone through and we've helped that out with the form, the heading, the rating, subheading. And so if you just follow through these and go to each of the sections, yours too can look like that. Moving forward, when a new franchise comes in, we're already making those changes for them as they come on board. Any questions on why we might have done that, or any comments? Any confusions? Awesome. Yes, sir.
I'm confused.
Okay.
Okay, you got a brand new software license loaded on this.
Yep.
And where did you get the inspection page set up from?
All right. You have to. You start a report.
Got it.
All right. So you have to have you have to have a report open.
Okay.
So I have a report open here. File. Page setup. You'll get a whole routine written up for this. I wanted to make sure I had the steps because you could actually do this right now if you had a desire.
Right.
And that's just making sure. And it took, a lot of trial and error to get the exact combination. It's like picking a safe. You gotta print it out. You go, oh, that's weird. You go do another incantation of that. But if you follow through that, you'll be able to do that. Because one of the things that this system allows us, this 3D software allows us to do, is a lot of different permeations of input-output. I mean, we look around the room, we have everything from Jay's Twistable Beast. We have some tablets over here. We have small handheld tablets. We have phones. We have all of those devices that can create a report. We have, who does on-site reports? Finished, printed, on-site? Do you print? Or you just PDF on-site? Done.
Send it right there.
Okay. Who does go back to the office? Who does from the truck between jobs? I mean, there's all of those permeations. That's all of those opportunities to maximize your time so that when you get home at the end of the night, you got more time with the 6-year-old. You got more time with the TV. You got more time with whatever your hobby is. And so that's what our goal is today, is to kind of help you with that. And we'll hit all those. One of the bigger challenges we have, and Andrew's going to talk about, is some of the warts. They're not huge warts, they're kind of pain in the butt warts with the installation and the initial start of the process. So Andrew, why don't you hit that a little bit? Oh, I'm sorry, I did.
No, you're fine. So, probably the most important thing, and a lot of you guys have been doing your own method for the last few years. You probably don't want to hear this, but you're going to have to update your Windows operating system. Anytime we sent out memos over the last year about updating to the latest version of 3D, and 3D is trying to evolve as quick as possible. However, they can't keep up with how quickly Windows is evolving. And I'm sure all of you are being hounded by Windows to upgrade to version 10. And 3D is already working on their next version. And there's going to be a point in the very near future that Windows XP, Windows 7, and even Windows 8.1 won't even be compatible with 3D anymore. So we're going to have to make that uncomfortable change to Windows 10, 10.2, and Windows 12, which is in production also. Anytime you transfer your operation, or you're buying a new operation, a new 3D license, you're going to be installing your software, you get a download key, and you probably get almost all the way through the process and then ask for error. Cannot find my SQL. Cannot find SQL database, cannot find your coexisting database. And what that is 3D is designed for data mining, real contact information, client contact information. And I'm not going to get into how to utilize the data portion of it. You know, some of you guys are using ISN, so you don't really need it. But unfortunately, that comes with the package. So we have to adapt and go with that. And I've had many conversations with 3D tech support, and they said, you have to stay current with Windows, and you have to stay current with your 3D update. There is an update feature in 3D that will ask you to do the latest update. But before you do any updates, you want to back up all your files. So any of you have questions on how to back up your 3D? Is everyone doing it on a regular basis? No?
It's like a dentist when they ask me if I floss regularly.
Trust me, we already knew that.
The answer is no, I don't do it regularly.
I go through this with my 12 inspectors on a monthly basis. Rob and I finally got together and said, all right, instead of having catastrophes saying, oh, I have an inspection report that has to go out tonight, and now my computer crashed. How do we resolve that? Now my guys in Chicago have to send us a backup once a month. And they send it, and we store it on our Google Drive. So if they have a failure, we can pull their database and put it on a different computer. But it's really a matter of, in office management, file, backup all files. And now it's going to automatically prompt you for a location. Quite frankly, you can just hit backup from here and it'll do its thing. If you want to put it on a thumb drive, you can browse and put it on your thumb drive.
Or back it up and copy it to the thumb drive.
Exactly. Backup, it'll do its thing. So it takes less than 5 minutes to do. But what it's doing is copying all of your comments, all of your prior reports, any changes you've made, all your modifications. So doing this before you upgrade to a new version or a new version of Windows is going to be absolutely critical. I think Dwayne is probably the most recent one that just installed a new license. You're installing and it's going to ask you, are you a new user? And you've been a Brickkicker for many years, so no, you're not. But for the purpose of setting up a new 3D version, you're going to say yes. And then you will restore from your latest backup, and all your comments and everything will dump in. But you know, in the last year, I've installed numerous computers, and a guy will come in with a computer that they've wiped, that's 3 years old. They've wiped it, and they think it's new and clean, but there's something in the background that's just not right. And yeah, it's gonna be you. Yeah. I spent 4 hours on this computer trying to figure out what's going on. That's because Windows is updating so quickly, we have to do those Windows updates. So if any of you are working on Windows 7 or even Windows 8.0 and older, I'm going to advise you to upgrade to Windows 10 as quickly as possible, and then do an update on your 3D software. That's the only way we're going to avoid pitfalls and failures in the future. So I have, like I said, 12 inspectors going through the same scenarios. Change is hard, but we have to adapt. Frank Curtis asked a question about the capabilities of 3D working on other operating systems like Apple. 3D has acknowledged that they need to jump on that bandwagon, and they are working on coding and programming for iOS and iPhone and iPads. That's coming. I don't know an exact date. 3D is, they're in their own world down in South Florida. But the most important thing that I want to touch base on as far as issues with 3D.
Andrew?
Yeah.
I guess I'm wondering, this backup thing seems to be a critical item as far as doing it. Would it help if Nikki were to send emails out to you guys on a monthly basis or a periodic basis as a reminder and maybe a little push to get it done, and then we're waiting for your response to tell us that you've done it? Or I mean, sometimes it's one of those things where you just need a little kick in the backside to get it done or go through the routine.
Probably not, Ron.
Yeah, realistic.
Yeah.
The computer asks you if you want to back it up all the time.
Yeah.
So it reminds you all the time to back it up.
I can't tell you how many franchise, Mikey Walt from the Quad Cities, just last month. I mean, I get up on a Saturday morning, I haven't even had my coffee yet. It's that dark 30 still. And he's blowing my phone up. And I can't do this, this is this. And the fix was simple. Restore from your backup. And he says, that's right. I back up every month because you told me to back up. And he remembered that. And so the worst he did, what happened to him is he went back to his last backup. Which is not too bad. So he was in good shape, and within an hour after that, he was up and running. Where it was 2 hours of this manic, but then restore the backup, finish, done, easy day. So it's important. Yes, sir?
Quick question. Say we want to back up to Google Drive or a
Yeah.
cloud. Do we have to actually, physically back it up in our computer or a thumb drive before we go to Google?
You should back it up on your computer, because then you just drag it and drop it.
Okay.
It won't take the send. It'll take the drag and drop.
Okay.
Plus, you're going to want to know. No, I'm not going to speak for David, but I'm going to use the Naperville operation because there's 12 inspectors in the field on a daily basis. We encourage them to have their backup in their possession at all times, but it's mandatory that we got a copy of it as well. So we have it. Because you ready for the fun? The fun is, here's the theory. So Ryan is one of our inspectors, and his computer poops. It's a bad day. The mouse, that runs in there and keeps it moving, died. We have a spare laptop, sits in the office. It's got 3D. It's the current, updated Windows. Andrew updates it every week. All we have to do is grab the thumb drive that's labeled Ryan, put it into that spare computer that's our loaner, and hit restore, and it's his computer now, just like it was before his other one died. Then he runs that until he gets the Geek Squad to fix his other computer, and we just take that computer back, and it sits over there, and it gets pushed back. It's that ridiculously easy to get back up and running. But you have to make sure you back up. I've heard stories, and I've used this one in sessions I know before with you and others. We have catastrophes all the time. There could be a flood, there could be a fire, heaven forbid, there could be earthquakes over here on the West Coast. There could be tornadoes. I know I have a safety deposit box over at the bank, and there's a thumb drive in there of all the important things for my wife and I. And when I had my own ship, my own company, as you guys know, I had my 3D backup in that. I went over there on a monthly basis and I just swapped out thumb drives. Because I knew way too many horror stories of home inspectors that have had a catastrophe in their life and they've lost their business. At least the records. So a Brinks box in the basement or a safety deposit box is a great spot if you wanted to quadruple your backup load.
So, to tether off of that, if you do come into a catastrophic situation, a lot of you will try to call us first, and if Rob and I are in the office, we'll certainly try our best to help. Unfortunately, he and I don't know every single computer and all the settings that you've got in place. You might have firewalls, you might have old Windows version, you might have certain things in play that, unfortunately, unless we can physically see it, it's going to be hard for us to do. And so the first question that if we say go to 3D, the first question they're going to ask is what version of Windows are you using and what version of 3D are you using? So that's why it's so critical that you stay up to date. So when you get prompted for Windows updates, go ahead and do the updates. 3D, last week I was on the phone with them. Windows 10 came out, 3D had a little glitch with the PDF writer. They've now since fixed that, so if you haven't yet, you can go ahead and upgrade and you won't notice any errors with those upgrades. But I want to stress on the importance of going to this website, 3dinspection.com, under Contact Support, Contact Tech Support. Last conference, there was a number of faces in the room that had nothing but horror stories about 3D. They're difficult to work with, they're complicated.
They're mean.
Yeah, they're not nice people. And that's one reason why we started talking about other companies, other software programs. But we in the Naperville office, are cranking out 4,000 plus inspections, and we rely heavily on them. And so Rob and I communicated with Heather, and they've got some new people in their IT department, and we fill out a support ticket, and they are responsive very, very quickly, provided that we do a support ticket. If we call them directly or we shoot just a one-off email, they're going to say fill out a support ticket, because that holds them accountable to fixing your issues. And when corporate gets involved with, if there's a major issue with one of you guys and we try to speed things along, they're going to say, well, we don't have a support ticket for this operator. And so our hands are tied. So fill this out, it automatically goes to them, you'll get an email copy, and then they're pretty responsive. Within hours, you get a response. Sometimes the answer isn't, it's more of a, hey, here's an article on our forum on how to fix it, because they've had other independent guys using the system. But if you use this, I can guarantee you're going to have a much better experience with 3D than what you've had in the past. We've been working to mend that relationship with 3D. So, any questions on 3D supports or updates to your Windows or to your operating system?
I'd like to spend that one more direction. So Ryan bought from Bill Britton this year. And so when you all came on board as new franchisees, part of your franchise purchase from us, you get a license. We buy the software license. And it's in your name. So when South Dakota came on board, or when Brad came on board this year, I contact 3D and I say, coming on board, Brad Taylor, Brickkicker of Conejo Valley, here's his address, it's btaylor@brickkicker.com. Now, he doesn't get an email from 3D, or Dwayne just had this Monday. He didn't get an email from 3D, he got an email from me. Because 3D emails it to us, the download keys. And so as a new franchisee, you're at the latest and greatest. And so when you look at 3D, you're going to see they're running right now version 12.1.5. if you're not working 12.2.5, I'm sorry, not 12.1, 12.2.5, you're behind. Now, what we're trying to make sure we emphasize is if you're in that position, you're to sell your franchise. Please, please, please make sure you're selling that, you're maintaining your versions so that your purchaser, your transferee, is getting what's supportable. If you're running, I'm not picking on you, Mike, but I'm picking on you. If you're running XP or Vista or what was there 98 or something in there? Some operating system that's non-supported, and you're running 3D that might be version 8. You're not selling them something that they can use tomorrow. And so if you're in that position that down the line you're selling, you're going to be getting a memorandum from us saying, we recommend, please do this, type of thing. So just know that's in the offing. That's going to come down the pipe, because we don't want to have anybody have issues. I know Dwayne went through this. Just like when we buy the initial license, that's got 1 year tech support, that's got 1 year with that, and it's up to you then. That's why, to maintain that. We don't have a mandatory, you have to maintain. We're just going to constantly keep dripping you and telling you, do your due diligence. When Rod asked the question earlier about can he switch to another provider, if you take the other big one out there, which would be Home Gauge, they're a minimum of $50 per month per license for their maintenance. It's not a yearly. 3D is, what, $200 a year to maintain the license. They're $50 per month to maintain the license. I mean, that right there is I don't even call it apples and apples, or apples and oranges. So anyway, I wanted to make sure you understood, that part of the license. Next, I wanted to talk about a little bit our form groups. We don't stand here and tell you you have to use our form groups specifically. Now, we've created form groups. We've got a branding. We like them. A lot of reports are written on them every year, 15,000 plus. And we don't, we like to think we're a family. And we give you great knowledge, and part of our branding and part of why you might have chosen Brickkicker is we're not in your business. We're not running down your throat every day, making everybody goose step and do everything exactly the same way. But that being said, you got your initial form group from us, and everybody in this room, I'll guarantee you, has adjusted it. You've ismed it to yourself. And so we went through, Andrew and I we spent the better part of the year since we were all last together rebuilding the form group. We've gone to outside sources. We actually went to Internachi. We purchased their entire library of comments. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,500 King's English, properly proofed comments. We've gone, that's important, for public school, I think. We actually got, when Jordan came on board, a library from another franchisor out there that may or may not contain 2,000 or 3,000 poorly worded comments. I mean, excellent comments that people can use. And then we've got our local team, and we've got you. I can't tell you how many times I've solicited help. So, again, we don't make it mandatory. We're not telling you what you have to do. But we create form groups, and we feather them out. When I talk about form groups, what I'm talking about very specifically is this. Now, when you look at mine might not look a little different.
Where'd you go with that? Where did you get that at?
Custom Form Studio, Jay.
Sorry.
On the action bar on the left. So we go backwards. So in 3D, you have three main bars on your home screen. Your action bar on your left, your menu bar in the middle. Minimize over the left. Your action bar on the left, your menu bar in the middle, and then when you're writing a report, your narrative bar on the right. Now, if you're lefty, you can flip those around. You can do all kinds of fun things, just like you can make your mouse buttons be backwards. That's a life choice. Let's go back to Custom Form Studio. Right. So I have, because I've been creating so many form groups forever, got dozens and dozens of these. A form group, is that, yeah, that's highlighted, is created from available forms. So when we look at a form group, we have a name. In this particular case, it's called BK January 2016. In a half a minute, all your phones and all your emails and all your computers are about to go boom, because you're going to receive it. Or at least you're going to receive a notification that it's available to you on the Google Drive. That form group, BK 2016, is created, oh look, by these individual forms that came from this list here. Now, when you look at my list on this side, there's a lot of forms that are buried in my computer. Mike Stoneman and I were talking a month or so ago, and they got a pretty robust operation with 3 inspectors plus a couple more that are coming on. And he said, I create this form group, and then I make a change, and then I go to another report, and that change isn't there. It doesn't reflect what happened. It's because when you look here, Andrew, go to BK Route. No, just like that. And then now, if you look in the middle bar, you see where it says BK, and let's just kind of focus your brain on these 2 spots right here, BK Attic and BK Pictures. This is one of those Rorschach tests. Now, Andrew, hit BK January 16. So the rest of that report is desperately similar in form group to the previous one, with the exception of pictures just disappeared and pictures just came. It's because I created this group over here from this mass over here that came from over here. So that, here's the magic of it. If I make a change, as we're writing a report, you know how you can do an add or modify? And at the end it says, did you want to save it? Yes. Then it went all the way back to the group over here, and it changed any place that it's being used. And I never have to make change and then change and then change and then change. I make one change and it changes the world. So now if I want to have some fun, I'm going to sit down here real quick, Andrew. If I want to have some fun, at any one time, I can come over here. I'm going to hit a right click, and I'm going to say, create a new group. And let's just call it conference. I remember I'm in public school. And so I'm going to call it conference. And there it is. And then I got to come over here, and I'm going to say, what do I want to put in it? So if I go over here to Brickkicker, the BKs, and I want just to have attic in it. And maybe I want to have building in it. And maybe I want to have foundation in it. Because it's a very boring report. And maybe I want to make this up a little higher. I'm done. So now I just made a form group called conference. As long as I took it from the far right bar, whatever change I make forever in building, it'll always change in all those subsequent ones. When Brad came on board, so let's do this. Whenever you're done making anything, or whenever you're done making any change, what do? You have to compile. It's not live and it won't work until I hit compile. Otherwise, it's all in what we'll call draft mode. So you can sit here and for a week, you'll tweak your play, but you can never write a report until you hit compile. Now it's compiled, we're done. So when Brad came on board, I looked over here and said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to go right click. I'm going to copy this group, and I'm going to rename it BK Conference. I'm going to say pool. I'm going to hit OK. So now it's the same. See how these are exactly the same. Then I'm going to come over here, and I know I'll never find it because I'm looking for it. It's one fan, pool. And I'm just going to bring that over here, and I'm going to stick it right there. So I just took the same Brickkicker report that I was using yesterday. I just added a pool page to it. And then I'll hit compile, and it's good to go. And every change I make, anywhere, anytime, will always be there for everybody. So yes?
I did a lot of modifications to the form sets themselves by clicking in the middle.
We're going to go there.
Okay.
So this is working with the form groups. So now if I'm Jay Barnett and I've got this good day 48 unit apartment building, and all three guys are going out there and they're going to play, you got to try to figure out what the hell you want to do. Well, you know, a smart fella could go to this before you started, and you could actually add 48 kitchens and 48 interiors and call it form group and have all those comments and have all that robustness to use some other time and do that. There's other ways to work around that. We're going to get to that in a minute. But that's working with this. If you take the form group that Andrew just sent you, copy it to your computer, it's available instantly for use. Don't do it, but it's available instantly to use by going to File, Install a Form. Go to File, Install a Form Group, find it, install it. Then what do you do after you install it?
Compile it.
Compile it, so it's live. It's ready to go. But if you do that, it kills every other form group that every other form set that looked like that. So if you love me and love all the stuff that Andrew and I have ever written, go for it. I'm in. We make our guys do that every time we update. We update at least monthly. Sometimes a lot more than that. But they have to run our current version. Now here's the thing. If Chris is working for our operation, I'm encouraging Chris to take his eloquence. Whatever he wrote yesterday that is just profound. You know, it's as good as Moses' 15 commandments. And you drop that other set. And so I take those on whenever he writes those, and we insert it. And so we run live. So to take what was just saying. So I'm just going to go to here. I'm just picking. Oh, that was the worst one in the world. I'm going to go to rooms. When you look at when you look at this, this is, it's on the minimize. When you look at this, so I heard you. I listened to our last conference, sort of, because, and so when we were together, I also created all of our comments that you just got in Word. You have those in this book. I think it's in section 3. Well, I know it's in section 3. It's called BK 2016 New Comments. You know what? I'm famished. You guys famished? Yeah. You want ice cream? I got it. Ron, you want ice cream?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I would like some ice cream.
The Rocky Road.
We'll get some ice cream. You buying, Jake?
Sure. No, I thought I was accepting.
I'm gonna get some ice cream. Who wants an ice cream bar? Yeah. We can have an ice cream bar while we're working, right?
You got the good humor man back there? We've been here before.
Sounds like to me, yeah.
I like that.
Correct, like, it was the 2016 form test that all the
You lose it. That's why we're about to do the next step.
Okay, sorry. Oh, it's okay.
Do not write over. Do not do it until we do the next step. Then we can overcome that.
Right now.
You're right, it's right. Lieutenant Dan, you got ice cream, Lieutenant Dan.
Rob has a couple of them. No.
I get 2 a day. I got my 1 in. I know, I did 2 good thoughts today. I needed that. I was feeling that.
Man cannot live by whiskey alone.
Try. Wait a minute, dear. So, Dave Brem in the back asked me to reiterate, if you install the form group we send you, it will kill whatever came before it. So be careful for that. So the workaround is, you'll see these comments. There's 32 pages of rhetoric here. You'd open it up, and through copy paste, this works very well if you have 2 monitors. If you only got 1 monitor, you hope your mic's open to have this the beast of the monitor of the world, so you can drag this way. But when you look at a comment in the form group, you're actually going to see it. I'm going to do this real quick. So I'm going to go to rooms, and here it is. I'm going to slide this over like this. This is how it looks when you open it up. Have you guys done that before?
No.
If you do that and hit expand tree, it blows it up. You're actually going to see that when you run 3D, it has criteria. Things are headings, subheadings, narratives. Narratives 1, narratives 2, narratives 3. And that's those, as we write a report and tab them out. If I write a report and tab them out, I'm just going to try to go to something. So when I look over here, these are narratives, right? On that bar. And so if I go to rooms, and I'm just going to go to ceilings, that's a narrative. That's a narrative 1, and you see the plus. Those are narrative 2s. So why those are so important to understand is when you look at this, that's a narrative 1, and then I can go down and see narrative 2s. So what you're going to get in the Word document is, I'm gonna pick, and I'm just gonna pick for schnitz and giggles, the first one. It says BK Heating. I'm gonna tell you what form page it's on to open it up. So I'm gonna say that it's bkheating.cfs. Then I'm gonna say subheading type, and then I'm gonna tell you it's a narrative 1 forced H2O. Those are those furnaces that have the water heater that puts the hot water towards a coil. It heats the coil, and then we blow air across the coil, and that's what heats the house. So that's just saying a description, and then it's called narrative 1. And so I'm telling you to go to that page, and then it's going to say narrative 1, and then how you do it is you just right-click, or you hit insert. I like insert, and I'm going to tell them. So if I want to add a narrative 2 comment to this one, under comment ceiling, it goes above the blue line. Always. It's going to mess you up. You're going to mess it up. You're going to, okay, I messed it up, and I fix it. So again, I go there, I hit insert, narrative 2, and I say what I want it to be. That's all done below. So in this case, if I'm putting in this comment, I would put it in. I put my heading, which would be forced air hydronic. That's the heading I want it to be. That's the heading that's going to show up in the summary, in the heading. And then I can put my text. I can hit copy from the Word doc, paste over there, and if you like the comment, it's in. Yes, sir.
I love the idea. I like your comments. I don't have time to go through 32 pages of comments and figure out what I might want in there, where to put it, and all that kind of stuff. It just isn't feasible.
You only have to look. That's up to you. That's how you want to run your business. We're going to give you. We can give you these comments.
I understand that, Robert.
Yeah.
I don't want to replace everything I've got, but to go try and go through 32 pages of stuff and insert it is when you're trying to run the business, a pain in the butt.
Well,
It just is.
how can I fix that then?
I don't know.
Other than you saying I'm going to take your form group as it is, and I'll always.
That's just it. But then
So-
I lose all my comments that I've customized.
So I'm trying to help you.
Unless you
I'm helping
change
you.
yours and.
You can't.
You can, yeah.
You can't. There's no.
Unless you do the
There's no
same
merge.
thing.
That's why if you just looked at this, you got a plane ride coming up.
Yeah.
I don't think you want.
Just be surprised.
So if you just scrabble down here, you can see. Just look at the heading. I like the heading. I'm going to use it. I don't like the heading. I'm not going to use
The ones
it.
that you've already created, save those to a Word doc.
Well, I would have to go through and find everyone I've got and copy them out. So that way,
Just like I would encourage anybody, if you got a comment you love, send it to me. I'll make it part of next week's form group. Nothing would tickle me more than if we all had the same database eloquence. Great. You know what? You could be on the field. Because just because it's in the form group doesn't mean you have to use it. It's just available to you. It's another arrow in the quiver that you grab. So if you went home and said, boy, here's the 105 of them that I'm very passionate about, great, send them to me. I'll put all 105 on there.
I got 12 guys in Chicago that have different personalities and different tastes for comments, and we said, you're going to stick with BK January 2016. And if you want to input your comments into this forum group, let us know. Otherwise, you're gonna stick with it. And because we're doing updates so often, they'd just rather stick with what we put in there, and they can customize as they do each report, but they're just gonna trust that the comments we put in there are robust enough for their operation.
I'm going to give you a great example of this. Now, I couldn't figure out a better place to put this. So, under the building tab, building form of our form set, at the very bottom, subheading, we've installed, on all the new versions, some profanity comments. We call them the get out of jail free cards. A little bit of limits, a little bit of things like older home. And so it's a pick that you can have.
It's a POS.
This is an old house. It's not going to be level. Yada yada yada. Now I would bet, put it out there, that the earthquake comments probably not as germane in Waukesha, Wisconsin, as it is in Solvang, California, or Conejo Valley. So my guess is you'll probably install that one, and not in Chris Reed's territory. But we've got it there. That's one of them that you can choose from. New out of the box, it's there for the next franchises. We have Hillside, I have Wildfire, Flood. When we had a meeting, our December inspectors meeting locally, one of our top guys goes, I'm so tired of doing these damn flip houses that, we all ready. I got it, Nichols says this is going to be a conversation tomorrow. These damn flip houses that are just garbage, right? We all see them. So, good news. Recently renovated. We're going to set that stage. Here you go. And it's just hitting the box. So we're making changes like that all the time. And that's right here in building. That's that's down here in other in comments, and here they are. And there could be when our local guys write reports, we want them to hit visual on everyone. That's a lock. And then we make them hit enter, and then maybe put the old one, or recently renovated, or it's setting that stage. And then that blocks out, makes it look prettier. So that's something that we've supplied for you. Again, we're not making you change. We love it, but yes.
Not to maybe confuse the situation here, but I understand how you got to adding these comments in there. In my mind, I have an easier way to use the add button. Do you ever use the add button?
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
But it's easier to find a way to add
if you're doing mass additions, I was talking with Dwayne a week or so ago, and we were talking about writing reports and things like that. And one of his favorite, I took this, just to heart. He goes, I love coming home from the inspection. I sit in my easy chair. I got a beer in my hand and a computer on my lap, and I can just go through it. So there's nothing that says you couldn't sit there watching your favorite whatever and just tweak. I know Brad did that when he wrote his. He just sat there and just thought and typed. And so that's using the Custom Form Studio. Writing comments on the fly, oh yeah, that's the add and modify all day long. Add and modify. That's how you would do it that way. It's easy. And you just got to remember, what do you do at the end? Compile. If you don't compile, you didn't work. You didn't do anything. So it will remind you on that.
The other thing with that, Rob, is
Yeah.
when you do that, you gotta remember that does not affect any report you have already created.
No.
Even if you haven't generated that report, it only exists going forward.
Yes. Yes.
And for those of you that got my email for this new forum group, you're probably wondering why you can't open it, and it's because it's an R3D file, type of file. So when you click on that little blue button in your email with the format, it'll actually go into your download folder, and then when you go in to install a new form set, you will upload from your download folder. So if you're wondering why you can't open it, that's because it's in your download folder. It's an unknown format for Google. So open 3D, install it that way, and you should get it to work. If you have questions, see me after, and I'll help you install it.
So again, some of the robustness that we're afforded with this product is if you had a big project, you've got this opportunity to custom a form before you left the house. You know, you could tailor it like Jay had these 49 units. I could create 49 sections, so it makes my reporting easy. One of the other things that's very interesting is the ability this software has to merge. So I'm gonna talk about real quick Kent and Chad. A lot of the inspections they do are tag team together. And I'm looking, you know, other than one's red and one's black, you know, it's like Starbelly Sneeches. One's red and one's black, they both have the same computers. You both are running the same 3D. Aren't you running the same form group?
Yep.
So here's an interesting feature. If in your operation you're running the same form group, whatever it's called, Weiss is best. Kent can be writing a report on his computer, write whatever sections or parts of sections he wants to write, install into his pictures, do all that work. And Chad can be on his computer and do that. Same sections, different sections. They might go, hey Chad, you do the bathrooms. I'm doing the interiors. I'll do the kitchen. You do the electric panel. When they're done, Chad's proof, spell check, did all those things. Kent did the same thing. You're going to have, you know, Rochambeau, who's got the last look. So let's say Chad's got short straw. Kent emails Chad the file. The file is an R3D file. He sends that file to Chad. Chad puts it on his computer, not in 3D yet. Just puts it on his desktop. And all he has to do every time. All he has to do is when this is open, hit File, Merge. Find the file that in this case, Kent wrote. And all of a sudden, it's like shuffling cards. And it goes like that.
That's cool.
And those the empty sections that Chad didn't write get filled in by Kent's. Where there's burps in the equation is if they both did a kitchen. Then it's going to look like stutter. Because there'll be 2 of each section. Because Chad said something, and Kent said something. So let's just say, again, short straw, sorry, Chad. You were the lead guy on that one. Your job would be go stem to stern, just double check to make sure that there's no stutters. Because that can happen. Or just like you want to double check to make sure you didn't miss something. So when you're doing a big job, like what KC did just the other day, you guys could all be in separate places simultaneously. Get all done. One guy or a girl just comes in, assembles them all back together, and you just created one big final report. Without sitting there, because anybody that's ever done a tandem job, doesn't it suck where you go, okay, hey, do me a favor, give me your chip, give me your notes, and like, 4 is really an H, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't read his writing. It's a bunch of doctor scribble. And you're like, yeah, just because your hieroglyphics are this doesn't mean my it's tough, isn't it? And this becomes, with the merge feature, and awesome. But you have to have both geneticists from the same form group. So you guys, you're always in the same form group. So that's huge. So any large projects, or this could even be if you've got a colleague helping you out. This is a great way to merge those through.
Rob?
Yes, sir.
Can I merge comments as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it's merging everything. Yeah.
Quick question though. I've had issues where we've merged and somebody's put a picture in the same slot and now it truncates the picture.
Yeah.
Is there a way around that?
No, because it's hitting the same line.
Yep.
That's the challenge with it. So you go back to that picture, and if you highlight it again, I'm going to get this picture here, and when I open it up in the oh, it's modified. I can go back to here. I can either remove it, or I can increase the size of both. You guys know how to increase size of the pictures, right? Right. So I can increase the size of the picture and end up with.
So just make sure you got put the picture in the right spot.
That's it. So to that, when we talk about branding, and you look at our report, and again, I'm going to go to here. We have in our output, when you look at any Brickkicker report, back in the day, 100 million years ago, we had those handwritten reports. Rod remembers them. So, but Rod's not old enough to know that we used to put carbon paper between each page and 4 paper clips. And that made the copies. You did? So yeah, I guess 95 we did that way. Then we went to carbonless. But our reporting system is described as, in the most general version, checklist narrative. There's full narrative, there's full checklist. A checklist narrative, we have this blocking here. And when you look at the blocking, it should look crisp and clear. That holds the brand, that holds the look. And so when you're filling out the report, what goes on in this line is the check. And what goes on in this line is the comment that goes below the blocking. So if you take and throw a picture, and I do it all the time, accidentally up here in the check, then right in the middle of our blocking output, here's a picture. And it takes this easy to read block and goes boom, and throws a 2x2 picture right in the middle of it. And now it might not make a whole hell of a lot of beans. The story's still there. Visually, it's not as appealing. And what ends up happening, if the report is designed to take the information that's here and the comments and then move them down to the bottom for our clients' interpretation and review, is a picture worth 1,000 words. If I've got my picture with my comment and they're there, it tells the story. If I put the picture in the middle of my blocking, then on the bottom it just says citing words. Visually it's much more appealing. And so I'd encourage you to consider that. And I can't tell you how many times I write reports and I'm running through here and I go, okay, and I go, boom, and I throw my picture in, and then I go here and I go, oh, shoot. Because I'd accidentally put it here instead of here. Do it every day. Because my fingers move faster than my brain. And so I just hit remove and it's gone. So I just encourage you to consider putting the blocking and putting those into there. One of the other things to consider summaries. Is anybody not doing a summary? That's fine. And that's a business decision. I think there's a great advantage to summaries. Your challenge with summaries is what goes and what doesn't go. That's the oldest in the inspector world. Who's the judge and the jury? A lot of it's experience. A lot of it's you make that right choice. We had a change recently in our operation that we did. I think we sent it out. So we've gone from a single chronological summary of it starts at building and ends at attic. And as we go through the report and you hit a summary, they all go to one location. So now we've changed our summary, which you have a copy of in here, to is it structural? We categorized it. Is it mechanical? Is it safety? Or is it other? Other could be anything. So what that ends up doing, our stakeholders, the clients and realtors, they like this. So I'm not judge and jury. I'm not as the home inspector go, this goes back to the old adage, I'm trying to, when it's fuzzy. I'm trying to go back in time. Dwayne remembers. I'm trying to think if it's Dwayne and older. Remember Good, Normal, Fair, and Poor?
Yeah.
You remember that? Okay, so it's David and older probably. That was very subjective, wasn't it? Here I am. I've done 3 or 4 inspections. So my Good, Normal, Fair, and Poor, based on the whole, is probably different than Brad's, who's at the less than 100 stage. So his normal might not be as normal as my normal, because I've seen that a few hundred times. So that Good, Normal, Fair, Poor really became very subjective and not really encompassing to the whole. So now we're at the is it reviewed? You ain't got it, or I'm making a comment. That's how we've progressed the reporting system instead of Good, Normal, Fair, and Poor. Now we've progressed to the multi-tier summary. So now, if you're on the fence on summary, which I'm all good with being on the fence on summary, you got this opportunity to put everybody somewhere. Because you might get that client, hey, I don't care about what's this, just tell me all the structural items. Or just tell me all of the safety items. I can fix anything. So now we're no longer making that subjectivity. So to do that, you got to do a couple things. One, when you look at summary, who's doing a single element summary right now? Right. So like and anybody with a single, if you go to the top and you hit summary, you're just seeing one box.
Right. Summary 1, summary 2, whatever.
Yeah, but it just says nothing. But if you did preferences, you could change that to make it whatever you want to. If you're Kent, you can put color code, put a name on it, do whatever you want.
Yeah, we used to do like summary before, summary after, like where we've done the inspection or done the re-inspection, things we found originally, things we found afterwards.
And that's still there as summary before and summary after. But this takes it to a different level. And then what you could end up doing is, and I'm just gonna open this up and I'm gonna go to here. Of course, I'm not gonna find it. So then we've taken in the word processor, because isn't that where the summary is genesis from, is some word processing document. You can take your summary that you have And we simply created, the following were found to be deficient in nature as part of the structural system. And if that was a summary 1, because remember I went into the report writer and I called it summary? If the first ones are structural, then all I have to do, and I'll show you real quick, I go to here, I did insert, and summary 1. You have up to 8 summaries, items. You can make a pick of 8 things, up to. And I just call it what I want to call it, so it'll be a summary 1, and I hit insert, and it's there. If you'd like to use the one we've created, you have it. So that's up to you. If you want to change the words in the summary. Yes, Kent?
One of the things that annoys the dickens out of me on the summary page is, you got the heading, but then it always inserts the word comments.
Yes.
Have you
Yes.
taken that, gotten rid of those? The word comments, ahead of the comments?
I just manually do that out.
Well, I do too, but it's a pain in the rear. You're wasting a boatload of time wiping out the comments.
I know what you're talking about. I gotta go file, close. Yeah.
Subheading and comments underneath.
That's good. That's
a comment.
yeah. Because that came. That's a loaded item from the software. Because that's coming from that header.
Yep.
So let me play with that. I think I didn't know that was a contention. Let me play with that, because I'm pretty sure when I do this and I go over here, I'm thinking that over in here I have a way to get rid of that, to make that. But I'm going to play with that a little bit, Ken. Let me write that down. Okay. One of the other fun things is our software has the ability to be used on a lot of different formats. One of which is a tablet. A new inspector that's never done a home inspection, I tell them to never touch a tablet. It's bad day. Because you don't know you don't know where the bodies are buried like you should. If you know our report, and you've done a couple of these, you know across here, this is all the different pages of our report. Front page, building proper, roof, garage, etc. The tablet would allow you the ability to walk around a home and use it for data collection. If you've got a camera, picture collection, all kinds of really, really, really interesting and
Dictate your report, really.
you betcha, and fun things. So when I have 3D on my tablet, I just have a real simple, what is this, tab A, I think, or tab 4. So this is what it looks like when I open up 3D on my tablet. And it asks me to log in. Now, it doesn't, you have to have a cloud account with 3D. It's just signing up. It's lickety split. And it tells me that, and I'm going to go over here, on my computer, on Office Management, I got this job. And this job is today. Who's the job today?
Go to this week.
There it is. This one, this is our job today. I did an inspection this morning. Here's my ISN job sheet, filled it out. When you use a tablet, if you've never used one, it has to start from your computer, get sent to the cloud, go to the cloud, down to your tablet, wrote on your tablet, sent back to the cloud, go back to your computer, and finish it. So there's pros, there's cons. So I did that. Last night when this got emailed to me, I decided I'm going to fill out my job sheet. I fill it out. There's all the information on my job. I send it to my cloud. Let me go to my tablet. And on my tablet, there it is. All I got to do on my tablet is take it from the cloud, send it into my tablet as a ready to go live product, and I can have as much fun as I want. Now here's the feature what I really wanted to show you on the tablet that's a lot of fun. Has anybody tried the bookmarking feature? The bookmarking feature is kind of a neat feature. So you don't use a tablet, right, Chris? No, you do. Okay. Who doesn't use a tablet? And who loves just taking a camera? All right. Who's thinking about using a tablet and a camera? So if you have your camera, and I just have this simple Canon camera, as long as you can finger paint glue things and figure out how the Chinese invented some of this stuff, there's a date feature on this. If your date and time is reasonably set to about now, you're good. So I have this report going right here, and I'm going to open it up in my tablet. And so I go over here, I'm starting the job, I open it up, and the first screen I have is this. And it's a beauty shot. I can either use my camera or I can use my tablet, take a picture, and I hit next. Now, when you're using a tablet, there's magically across the top the same that's on the top of my normal report. And I can walk organically around the house. So the first shot I took was the beauty shot. Now I'm on building proper. As long as I know my report, it's only going to show you one line, one piece of information at one time. It doesn't overload you with data. So there's building siding. I can hit reviewed with my fat finger. I can say comment. I can hit a comment, and I can say vinyl, caulking, newer, or whatever I want to say. And if I want to take a picture, where do pictures go? In comments, not the blocking. I take a picture, and it's going to say boom. Oh, that's fabulous. There's my picture. I go back to here, I go back to here, I go back to here. Wait, there's my picture.
Nice smile.
And that's there. And so that's just putting the picture in the report. Now here's the thing. I got this big job. It's a big job. It could be a commercial job, it could be a 48er, it could be all kinds of fun. Why I wanted to talk about the bookmark feature is, so up here I got this star. I got this star. See the star right there? That's a bookmark. So you saw the limitations and kind of the pain in the arse I have with taking a picture with this, right? So I still got, I'm still holstered, right? I'm still packing. And I certainly know my tablet does not have a flash. So obviously, I've got a great limitation on darkness, attics, crawl spaces. I might also be a guy, and I've talked to lots of you, that might be very snap happy. You might be somebody that loves, I am too, I might take 60 to 100 to 150 pictures a house. With the tablet, it's take a picture in a picture. Every picture is purposeful. They're there.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, you can get rid of them later.
No, you can put it in your, in the photo gallery, and then you can pick it from the top.
Oh, that's if you were using photo gallery, yeah. But
You can just go to the arrow and then drag it back in, so you can pick it later.
here, I've never done that feature. That's here?
No, over on the side, to the left of the camera butt.
Uh-huh. Okay,
Nope, the next one.
Yep.
Camera.
okay. All right,
Select
I've not
image
done
at
that
the top.
feature.
So
So,
you can take all the pictures you want, and then you can drop it into the comment later. 'Cause I'll
okay,
take 3 or 4 if it's something that I'm not quite sure of, and then later on I'll put it in there.
thank you. I'm gonna try that. Because what I do is I might go to that section of the report. Now I'm gonna pick the attic, because again, I don't have a flash. If I do this in order, since my tablet has a date and a time, I can go to my tablet and I'm gonna go star right here, and I just bookmarked this. And I can go take 50, 60, 100 pictures. As long as the timestamp here and the timestamp there. So now, in a little bit, I'm going to show you how that becomes important and where that shows up. And so I'm going to take, just right now, I did that bookmark, and I'm going to take that picture. And for about 10 minutes, it's going to look for that and look for that later. So I'm going to exit out of here, or down through this. So I've got a report open here. I did that every time we've done this. I want to finish this anyway. So I'm going to go back to here. So I got my report open, and see how I've got the pictures here. If I went to my gear icon, and I have my pictures down here, I can unclick this and show them only as images date stamped to the bookmark, instead of having my 150 pictures. It will only show the hunk of pictures that were taken during the bookmarking of that section. Talk about note help. That's pretty cool.
Can you do that on the non-tablet? If you got bookmark capability on the...
Yes. So if you guys are walking around and you're doing this by hand, if you're doing this by hand, you have to be live writing your report. And so I could very easily be, I could be right here in garage, I go to comment, and I can go bookmark. And I can add it right there. It doesn't like it that way. It likes it going from handheld, because I can write all my report. Let's say I wrote my report with my tablet, and I've got it like 98% done. Put stuff in. All I got maybe have to add is some identifiers and things. And I did my bookmarks and we add my pictures later. I can write my report by simply toggling where my bookmarks are. And I don't have to go down every line. Let's take a 5. And you guys, I know we're all probably swimming. So let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll continue flying through here. I'll show you what to do next with your tablet.
Any updates on being able to put the identifiers on the pictures?
I mean, annotate it. No.
So you should be about really,
Your notifications, huh?
what am I supposed to do? I've got, and I need some software.
So there's comments you were talking about.
Yes,
Comments you were talking about. But are they going to be sent off?
they're in work. You got the link.
Okay, so you already sent it.
Yeah, it's already there. Just like I'm hoping to get them with this, and my email gets loaded with share. Because I think you would appreciate just being able to just overwrite.
Well, it would be nice if we
No, it's good.
If we all had a central database,
We got a first one I bought a phone.
Yeah, well, not for that.
We've got, in the new form group, there's like 2 that we've already done that way, because it's when our guys do it, it's like, don't mess this one up. No, this has to go here, type of thing. Just like you'll actually see, one of my favorite additions, I'm gonna go to Rome, and I'll show you steps and stairs. You'll actually see the underside one automatically puts a picture. So if you click the underside statement, it automatically puts in a picture that talks about how the underside of the stairs is supposed to fireproof. I have that one as an automatic capital. And I also have, I'm just so proud of my damn pictures.
Okay, so I'm gonna add 2 columns. I like that one. I say
the asbestos one. Because the 9-inch tiles are asbestos. So if you use that comment ever, then this picture shows up. And it says, kit tile contains asbestos fibers for extra sturdiness and wear. Because I found a case of that one time. I just wanted to have but you'll take a picture before, because you saw the 9-inch tiles, and then you need to put the comment in, and there's this too. This reiterates or reinforces that.
Now, talking about
I'll tell everybody that. I'll show you how to do that, and I'll show how to do that. No, I'm going to show these guys. I think that's a good point.
we talked about not putting some pictures in some of the blocking. I do that for my HVAC equipment. I take one snapshot of the unit, and then I put all my comment stuff down below. That helps them to identify which unit is which. I have found out if you put 2 though, it shifts everything.
It does. It does. It does.
you came and visited, you set me up with
I think so. I like it.
I was gonna say that I've actually one client was very far.
What needs to be done now? What can be done later? What can be done later?
I actually, so I think you guys' summary's got action now, like the summary.
No, we just have we have a deferred expense item. Right. That's where I'm at.
So, yeah, okay, that's it. That's
We train our guys is like.
Yep.
price.
One,
But when I can, read his price structure.
That's kind of what I do too.
Is there a way to get it to
Try to focus when I'm over.
800 square foot?
This is summary item. This is an action item. Is how I try to read it. Is this an action item? Is this something that needs to be handled right now? Then it's a summary item. If it doesn't get something I want to tell them about, then it doesn't qualify for the summary. So that's where I kind of sort of find lines. There's certain things you need to see, and there's certain things that they can be up there.
No, it's when you're building a report,
No, that's what sponsors tell me. I mean, we got to sit down and cover it. You're an inspection.
It's an office
With these
management.
files. We don't want to sit and read them.
And I'm trying to figure
We
out
want to know
what's
what you
customized.
flagged right now. And then I'm going to have the customer read through the rest of the book. But the realtor doesn't want to waste their, they're busy. So that's where I've been getting them. In my neck of the woods, I don't have it.
Does I use ISN? That's all the information I need right here to write my report.
I know, start.
Well, you don't do the client, you have to do client's name.
Absolutely not. I do it all, as I found it to be quicker for me. I do it all 100% writing my report. I put it all in here. Because I don't use I don't use 3D to data mine. All my data mining is done on ISN.
No, I do the same thing.
And so why should,
Well, I mean,
there's no information when I put anything
Here's the thing though,
in here.
whichever computer.
I'll never use that information ever again in my life.
so do you manually from
You
ISN
started a file.
do that?
You sent it up to the cloud and
I
you
can't,
did it.
no, I manually, yep,
Okay.
yep,
So you're just skipping those steps and you do it?
yep, yep.
Because the one manual,
Okay, so,
I had to switch files from somebody and I said, oh, I've already uploaded mine. You could download it to the tablet, but it couldn't.
The other thing I learned on
What is item?
Mr. Trial and Error is with that summary.
Oh, that's right, you don't have to. Well, I have all my, yes.
Just need a little highlight over there, should be.
You throw that in your summary.
There should be.
Try it.
I'll take a look at it.
Right away.
I'll look at it.
So you throw that down.
All right, have a
Now you
seat.
go back and you review it, and all of a sudden you realize, I forgot something I should have done this section. So now if I go right back into my summary, or right back into my report, and add that to the summary, I actually have to delete the summary form from the report, and re-add the summary form, or that new comment won't directly.
Ready to go, guys? Chris?
Yeah, you can probably paste it. Yeah, have it.
Who
So I've
remembers,
had to go and change it and delete that form. Re-up.
who remembers one of the key statements from Simon's video? Simon's the why video, the golden circle. Who remembers the statement that is?
No, you
Chip, free drink at the hospitality.
have to convince them why you want to do it.
Yeah. All right, give 12 at a time.
So,
Is it Brickkicker chips?
They're nice ones.
Yeah,
We have a casino.
We playing a poker tournament?
Hey,
yeah.
Brian.
Hospitality suite.
Before we move on, can I ask a question about pictures? Share a little bit of my experience? The first time I used my tablet was on an inspection, and I got about a third of the way through the inspection when I realized that I was taking the pictures in the headers and not in the comment. So when I downloaded it back to my computer, back to my laptop, I tried to remove those pictures so I could place them in the right spot. They were gone.
so somebody that does tablet, do you know how to,
You can't.
you can't.
Once it's in that header, the only thing you can do is remove it. You can't move it around that I know of. And I've done the same thing, I've just learned not to do that.
Well,
If you
that's the question.
does it open it larger? Like where you can screenshot it and then it's saved to the gallery?
Yeah, you can do that.
Put it in?
Yeah,
So
you
there
can
is a way around it.
screenshot it. But then you have
But
to,
see, that's
You're almost better off just saying, okay, this is where I messed that report up. The stuff's here.
and it goes away completely. It doesn't go. You can't. It's gone.
I'll be honest with you, that's how I figured out how to do the select the image one, because I did what you are talking about a couple times. And then after that, a couple of them, I would take duplicate photos in the photo gallery, just in case I did that.
Because I've minimized
I
everything.
agree, and that's the question I had. There's no. It doesn't copy that picture to any kind of gallery. You can
No.
never get to it again.
Correct.
And so one or two things need to happen. It needs to make a copy of it, put it someplace, or you
You're talking
should not
about
be
3D.
allowed to take a picture in the header.
This software will not do that stuff.
Well, I like the idea. When you import it, you can take it out.
What's that?
If I come
I like
across.
the idea. You get shot allowed.
I take it, I can't
Yeah, it should block. It should say no. You can't take a picture.
So one of the things I wanted to show is in some of the additions, and some of the robustness we have, there's two really neat areas I'm pretty jazzed that we added. One of the comments we have is underside. I meant stairs, interior stairs. We all know that between the first floor and the second floor of a house, the underside of the set of stairs needs to be fireproof. So we can't have open wood treads, risers, and things like that. So we got this comment for that here. What we also have is I have a picture that's automatic, that will always be in that has the standard. I didn't say code, it's the standard. All over the world, you're supposed to have that. Now you could actually go through it. I'm gonna Like Leggett was saying, he's actually gone through and taken the time, probably sitting on his laptop or sitting watching TV. There's enough information in this report or in this form group that if you see that, it's most likely going to be a summary. So he's gone through to eliminate the one item click, is he might hit that. And so I'm just going to say that anytime I ever see stairs, not drywalled, I can go to this mark right here and I can say it will always be. Is it structural or is it safety?
Safety.
So I am going to make it a safety. I know is number 3 in our world.
You can rename those too.
Yep. Well, not here you can't.
No, but in
the real report up on top I can.
Yeah.
But not in Custom Form Studio I cannot, because it doesn't have that communication. I just have to remember. So when I'm sitting there doing my edit, I have a little piece of paper that says 1 is structural, 2 is mechanical, 3 is safety, 4 is other, and I can make that. So now, forever, if I get done and I hit save exit, and if I go back to Custom Form and I hit that and I hit compile, the next report I write, it will automatically be a summary item. So I don't have to think anymore, because I take the thinking out of it.
How'd you get the picture to show up with your comment?
It's automatic. So let's say you have a picture. So I'm going to show you one more picture real quick.
How do you set it up if you don't
I'm going to
have
show you right now.
How do you set it up?
I'm going to show you. So I have the Custom Form Studio. I'm going to move this over like this, and I am going. I'm going to go to floors, because I'm pretty proud of this one. I go to this one. I'm going to open that up, and when I scroll down,
I'm pretty proud of that one too. I used it the other day, by the way.
did you?
Love it. Asbestos. Yeah.
We all know that every 9-inch floor tile is asbestos. So I got lucky enough years ago to come across a case of that. And written right on it says, contains asbestos fibers for extra strength and durability. So
Enhanced.
I almost texted just a little emoji thumbs up on that one.
so let's just say I have this. So if I go to this comment and I hit image and put it there, I'm just going to stick it there for fun. There it is. As soon as I hit save, compile, for the rest of my life, every time I click nice hardwood, that image will always be there. So there might be a couple of dozen things that you might have developed in your personal repertoire, your personal armor that you want to put on for every job. I could probably, go through the entire Brickkicker report, and everybody know the Carson Dunlop home reference guide. There's like 4,500 clip arts. if we wanted to, we could go through that entire book and put a clip art of every item. That's where that under stairs came from, if we wanted. I don't know that any of us want that much clip art in our reports. I think give us the facts and only the facts. But there are some cases that having that is a really important thing. The underside of the stairs, the shoulders of standard. If you felt, we need to put the Carson Dunlop on the chair too, for everybody. I'm going to supply you with that book. I have all that clip. If you don't have it, I'll supply you with that book. I mean, I'll give you a great example. We all run into houses, daily, weekly. We're walking into the front of the house, got the concrete stoop. Sidewalk is dropped. Stoop is stayed. Grandma can't hoist her leg up high enough to climb in the front door. It's a trip hazard. So you could very easily put that clip art in that common item. And now you didn't make it up. Here's the standard. This height, between 8 and 7. And here's the picture. See, I told you so. There's probably a couple, 3 dozen that come to mind that would be perfect for that. Yes?
Is it like the photos in that when you're doing your report, can you click on it and put an arrow or a circle or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely. You can take that standard picture and do that. Or you can elect
I've
to
got one I
say,
use anytime, the hot water is too hot. I've got a little scald chart I put in there.
Yeah.
That'd be great for that. Just make it automatic, and then I put a circle or a square around, if it's 140 degrees, I put the square around the 140 degrees part of the scald chart.
you can absolutely do that. So that's an opportunity for you. So one of the things we were going to do, we were going to write a whole report. I don't think anybody wants to watch me write, given where we're at. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, Andrew started earlier and touched on the fact, keeping updated, keeping current with everything. One of the things to play with is I'm trying to think where we're at. I lost my train here. It is data mining. If you're using 3D and you're not using the Office Management Suite like ISN, and 3D is your only grab, contact, content manager for your life's database, then Office Management System, going and starting every job with Office Management screen, that's critical mass for you in your life. Because you can data mine with the SQL database manager and find out how many jobs that person did. You can export to Excel and manipulate that data. That's what that SQL is important for. If you're using ISN, then 3D's data management and data mining means zip, zero, nada to you. It's not important. So when I write a report, because we are exclusively using ISN, I don't put anything in. All I want is the name of my job, the day I'm going to do it, the address I'm going to, and my name. I don't care about the client, I don't care about the realtor, I don't care about any of that. Because, and I'll get to that in a half a second, Kent, because when I write my report, when I write my report, I fill that out in the report writer. You can do it the other, that's fine, but I fill it out, all that information in the report writer. Because I don't need to data mine it, I don't need to care about it, and frankly, I'm keeping my computer clean. I'm not taking up any database space. Yes?
I put all that stuff in ISN and do the download and it populates 3D.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Why aren't you doing it that way?
I can't.
Why?
I don't own an ISN. Okay, let's go backwards to ISN.
Wait a minute, you said you were
How do you
using.
do that?
Okay, so let's hit that right now. Okay, ISN works with single inspector outfits and multi-inspector outfits. Not a better example, in my opinion, of a multi-inspector outfit would be our local operation. Here's ISN, here's a job. There's today's job that we just did. There's all the information that ISN populates based on the order. ISN can cross-pollinate or cross-communicate to reporting softwares, to accounting softwares, to scheduling softwares. This is already a scheduler, so you don't need scheduling softwares. It can communicate back to those sources. However, it can only communicate to people that have set up their accounts as owners. So when you look at our ISN in administration, you'll look at Andrew right here. Andrew is called an owner, a manager, an inspector, a staff, a call center, and marketing. You look at Kurt, he's just a lowly inspector. Does great work. He's just a lowly inspector to the world of databases. So Andrew could go to 3D. Andrew could go to 3D, and he could go to office management, and he could do maintain, and he could do, he could do retrieve, import. And he could import from, come on, speed it up. He can import from ISN. He can physically go to the system and say, bring in my schedule from ISN. Because he's got an owner preference. When you look at Rob, because I'm just below the inspector, and you look at my ISN, I'm just an inspector. I'm not an owner. So if I'm back here and I'm in David's world, if David's running ISN, he has to set up Scott and Jeff to either be inspectors or owners. That's his life choice. Because frankly, we have inspectors and owners for us because we don't want our local inspectors to see the whole world's schedule, just theirs. Or to see the whole world's accounting, just theirs. For obvious reasons, right?
Plus, our schedule is so dynamic and so changing for 12 inspectors that if we allow our guys to pull from ISN into 3D and there's a cancellation, they're going to confuse reports. So we eliminated that by avoiding the 3D merge.
But for a single man, for a single person outfit, or an inspector's, let's say Mike, if he wants to put all of his employees as owners, he could.
Mine is an inspector, and I have it set up so only her inspections go in. Mine don't, so she only sees what she's doing.
No, she sees them, but she can't import from ISN into 3D.
No, she does. She does. I hardly even see this person. I'm serious. She works but it only imports hers, and she doesn't see mine, and she doesn't see what's on the schedule. She only sees.
No, she sees them.
No, she doesn't.
No.
There's a setting
She
here
sees
that-
her stuff.
Yeah, she sees hers, but
Right,
she doesn't see mine.
but she doesn't have, 3D does not have the ability. It does not release the communication path to anybody in ISN that's not pre-listed as an owner. Subordinates can't.
Mine does.
Wow, that just happened this week.
It's been like that for 6 months.
Okay, I'd have to double check that. I'd have to check on that. If that's the case, then I apologize, because I'm working on old data. But there is a communication that you can bring stuff in.
Mike, you're saying it was changed, Mike, you're saying that was a change in the last 6 months?
I'll check on, I'm gonna check on that, I'll check on that.
Maybe you ought to run down to Florida to 3D, talk to them.
No, I have dozens of
I
times.
think again, it's supposed to be really cold in Aurora.
Actually, there's a very large 3D training session that's gonna go on the 18th and 19th of April.
I'd send Jay down there, they'll end up buying a franchise, and then they'll want to do it. I'm sure we're not.
So one of the other things,
So Rob,
yeah,
you lost me there, I'm sorry. So, using office management, just minimize just what's gonna be useful to us, or,
that's up to you.
so what was the whole point of this?
I
tried to sidetrack with ISN.
The conversation is if you're data mining from 3D, you need to make sure you fill out office management in as much entirety as you want to data mine. If you're not going to data mine from ISN, then you could actually write a report
With minimal.
Just an
All right, so tell me, three line items that maybe would be beneficial for us for data mining, for review, for investigation, for
realtors,
okay.
cities,
Referral.
and referral source. Yeah. To me, I want to know how many jobs somebody gave me. Yeah, that'd be the first, and then referral source. Did I get the job from, the W's, or did I get it from a direct personal referral source? I think that's the most important. You see anything else, Ron, that'd be important?
Yeah.
So I want to start a report, or do this report again. But what I want to show you is, when we're writing reports, we have the action bar on the left, we have our information in the middle, and we have our narratives on the right. You're all aware you can change just about any word on the report at any time, on the fly. You can rename anything you want. So right now, if you look at this report form, I have master bath, 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 bath. I stuttered a little bit. So I could be in the middle of writing this report, and what if I want to change the name bath faucet? I could double click on it and I could change the name of it at any point. As long as I never hit the word modify master, it's single use. Only this report, only this day, only this moment.
You gotta be careful of that, because some of them come up defaulted as modifying master as checked.
So many times, master, in this form group, we've made the first bath master, second bath just says bath 2. I can double click here. I always hit cap because they're all capital, and I might put Jack and Jill. So now, I've changed that. Now here's why I think that's important. When you look at a report, up at the top here, it says 5 master. Nice, blocks, looks good. And that says bathrooms. If I was to hit a print preview of this right now, instead of the word bathroom right there, it'd say Jack and Jill.
Right.
And it helps identify that in the bold. What's also fun, this latest form group where we've gotten rid of the annotations, the A, B, C, D, E's, F, G's, etc. When we do a summary, instead of saying bath 2, it's going to say Jack and Jill tub spout, and not bath 2 tub spout. Then you're going to have to shake around and figure out what bath 2 was. So it helps encircle or bring in the client. I can also, in the middle of writing a report, at any point go to my action bar if you've never done this before. And if I hit the caret add a form. So if I'm, again, I keep using J, but if I'm J doing a 48 unit building, I could keep hitting add, and I hit add a room, and I could go add a room. And then rooms just showed up. Or if I go to the basement and there's that summer kitchen, you know, so I go to, you guys know I have a summer kitchen? And so I can add a second kitchen. And then I come over to here, and I'm going to go to here, and I might write basement, kitchen.
You can do that when you edit. I always do it that way. I always change it on the ad. It comes up with the rooms. I change it there.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression you couldn't have 2 rooms because it would screw things up.
Yeah.
That was an easy one.
I mean, with the same title.
Yeah, you gotta change the title to keep screwing things
You have
up.
the same title, your comments would show up the same
Yeah.
on your summary. Because it seems like you have, if you have rooms and rooms, then all your comments will mix together on your summary.
Yeah, they just come under
Yeah.
this category.
If you
I always
name them
shake that.
separately, first 4
No,
rooms.
just like Dwayne was always a big proponent of every room should have conversation. Would that be the nice way to say it, right? Every room, living room, dining room, family room. So you could very easily, I mean, Dwayne could sit there and make a form group that has 7 rooms in it, or 8 rooms in it, and label them all. He doesn't have to use them. When he prints, he doesn't have to print the pages that he didn't use. So you can create all of that ahead of time and come back. You know what I mean by that? Everybody, good.
Before you go on, how did you, I'm sorry, I missed that somehow. How did you add a page there?
I'm adding a form.
You add a
I don't call it add a page, because remember, it's a form group created from forms. And so I'm adding a form by going on the left on the action bar. You see that, Scott?
Yeah.
And then I click on it, and those are the list of forms that I'm able to add. And so in this particular case, I'm able to add any one of those, or on the bottom, I can actually add a whole nother HVAC, which would be 4, because HVACs are in groups of 4. So if I had 5, then I do it that way. I'd add the rest.
Thank you.
Truly advantageous for outbuildings, add a garage, change the time outbuilding stable.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Multiple ags, especially where you've got issues in one to identify it.
Yep.
It's really sweet, really nice.
Yeah, and what's nice is it's single use, it's on the fly. You can absolutely do it that way.
The other thing on that, Rob, is you want to make sure if you're adding rooms, just like the comments, if you don't tell where to go, it's going to go to the tail end of the report. So if you want the kitchen after the second kitchen, you got to play there.
You got to tell where to go.
And ask you where to put it.
If
Now-
you forget that,
Yeah.
and it goes to the back, what I do is I get pissed, and I just create another one and then don't use that one.
Right.
Or before you print, you change the print order and you move it up. Now, one of the things that I want you to take notice of, if you'd indulge me for a minute, couple of more fun things.
Rob, can you show us how you change the sequence on the print? I didn't know you
Yes,
could do that.
I'll show you that here in a half second. Absolutely. I'd like you to look at the very last report in the binder. And I want you to take a look very specifically at our index page. You're going to see that this index page looks eerily similar to what you're used to, with one very minor, subtle difference. It's got 2 more pages behind it. What we've done, and we've found in the Naperville office, is our clients typically have issues learning our communications and getting it. And so those report limitations now that are so eloquently written in our binder and given to them are lost in the binder. So we've actually placed them on our index. And that's, you're able to do that yourself. I'd encourage you, you have that emailed to you already in the email you got today. By going to the edit inspection template, Dwayne and I are experts at this, right, Dwayne? Yeah. And you hit edit first page index. That's this. This is where you add your signatures when you want to add your signature. This is where you add all of that information. And if you scroll down to the below that, I can copy the words from that inspection limitations and paste them right there, carry with them forever. So when we print the PDF, or email it, but they have it, they never lose it. Same conversation, different topic. When a report is sent out from our operation, every report is sent out with our contract as a PDF. We were having problems. Oh, we had one big glaring problem. It was an awesome problem to discover because we won. It was an awesome problem to discover. Somebody called us up. They hated us with great festivity. It's a bad day. And it involved attorneys. And they came in, we got one of those I hate you letters. And in that I hate you letter, there was a demand. And here comes the demand. And we had to get our attorney involved. And then that got the insurance. I mean, it's just the whole cluster keeps snowballing down the hill. And at some point, way after the snowball is turned into, you know, that giant beast, didn't you read our contract? Really? And the other attorney for the plaintiff goes, you have a contract? I never saw that. Because somehow the client who hates us fails to take that piece of paper and interject that into the conversation.
Surprise.
So now, every job that's sent out from the home team, the contract travels as the PDF with the job. Now that's all created in the word processor. Automatic. It's all filled out with the autofill and the database. Since all of you work a different contract, some of them are very similar to ours, some aren't. What we gave you today, the magic space, is a copy of our contract as the word processor for 3D. And you can go through there and use that as your step-off point or use that as yours. Or if you have a copy, you have your contract, and it is not even close to ours, but if you can give it to me in Word, I'll fix it and make it 3D word processor. I promise you that. I can do that for you.
Is there a reason to do that if you're using ISN?
Yes. There is. You ready for this? The client, I want the contract to be part of the bundle that is sent to the client. So if I'm using ISN, which I am, ISN's contract, I have their signed contract too, don't I? Whether it's handwritten or whether it's electronic. But see this bundle right here? That's not paper. This is a PDF, right? Put it up, put it in. Look at that. What's that look like? Not like a contract. See that? What's that look like? Not like a contract, right?
But it's an unsigned copy, it's not their signed.
But it says right here, this is a copy provided as a courtesy. There's a signed copy executed on file. So all I'm doing is keeping this in this bundle. It's the last page, it's a throwaway, it's another 5 pages of their life. But guess what? When this is emailed to them, and then they email it to them, then they email it to them, then they email it to them, Frank, it's always been here, and guess what it is? It's my armor. It's holding on to my life and my livelihood.
It is until they want to eliminate that.
Oh, then they cut the last 6 pages and then resave it again. But guess what? I don't care. Because you know why I don't care?
You got the original.
No, better than that. Better than that. It's on my index. Contract provisions, page A, 1A, and 1B. It's on my index. So if you decide you want to do that, now you know, yeah, there's a lot of very special people in the world that can do a lot of, I remember one day, I'm going to tell a story because I love this one. I wrote back in the handwritten days, that a few of us remember, I wrote a report, and I said A. The floor in the master bedroom isn't level. And I used nice block lettering, black ink. Then they call up, somebody got questioned. What was wrong with that floor in the living room? And then I said, I didn't say anything wrong with the living room floor. I said, master bedroom. No, living room floor was all jacked. What do you say about that? I said, well, send me the report. So they added a comment in blue ink underneath my ink in cursive. So there's nefarious people. They'll do all kinds of things. We really, this is one of those baselines. So when we're talking about branding, we're talking about standards, I really encourage you on a legal basis to tag your reports. And I'll help you, I promise. There's only 50 of us. I can take your contract. If you give it to me in a Word format, I can put it into 3D and then hand it right back to you, and we'll install it. All you gotta do is hit the button. It'll populate the client's name. It'll populate the job number. It'll put the footer on the bottom, and it'll look like every other page of your report. It's just formatted different. So that I promise you was a good help.
The only comment I've got to it is you're adding a lot of pages to the report.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the one thing that I hear from all my realtors, the reason they like my report is because it's half the pages, because we don't have the BS that every other company uses in it.
Okay.
So we're trying to cover ourselves, but at the same time, we're adding a whole lot more stuff for them to.
That's where the summary comes in handy.
Yeah, my typical report's 45 to 55 pages long by the time I have my pictures and everything else. But our clients are probably going to be reading the first stage, or 3, or 5,
If that.
if not.
They read the summary, they share the summary with that's all a realtor will ever read. And 98% of all attorneys will only read the summary.
So Kent asked the question, and then I'll get to Rod's.
Don't worry about it.
So I write this report. I'm gonna hit file, and I'm gonna hit print. And then I got all kinds of errors, and so it's gonna tell me fix my errors, and I'm gonna say no. So here's my print. From this, I can select or deselect any pages I want. I can also. Oh, you're right, Ken. I thought I could move up. I can't. I can only move up my attachments.
Right.
I can deselect.
Okay.
But I can change. I can go here and I can move my location over. I do it in the Custom Form Studio. I can move it higher and lower. So if there's a particular job, here's why we can't move pages. Is when we first switched to 3D, we hard-coded the Roman numerals.
Page numbers, yeah.
The
Yeah,
sections.
At the top, yeah.
Yeah, and we can't unhard code those. I suppose we could probably, if there was a consensus, have 3D rewrite the code for us. But it's kind of nice to have the Roman numerals, I think.
I didn't do that, I just didn't realize you could.
Yeah.
On occasion, it might be convenient, if you stuck the kitchen after the plumbing, you wanted to move it after kitchen 2, you could do it, but
Yeah.
it's not a big deal.
You could do it with add a farm,
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
you know,
Yeah, I
and
had-
then just write it in the order that you want it.
Right, I mean, I added a second kitchen, I got stuck behind the electrical instead of behind the second kitchen.
Yeah.
But if I could do it at the print time, boom, you move it where you want to, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we have plenty of time to answer questions. What do you have? Absolutely.
Is there a way to maximize the amount of real estate available for your thumbnail photos? I mean, I know you can close out the action bar. Can you make the thumbnail small? I know you can increase that obviously as well. Is there like a way you can like minimize, like make the thumbnails themselves smaller?
Oh, these?
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
File size or physically?
Just on the report writer.
So you can
It's
see
okay
more.
for you to-
So you can see, you know, instead of just the 6 photos.
Well, the whole idea, yeah, I can. I can go like this. I can stretch this up and see now.
For sure, but then I'm losing.
No, you could. You'd have to almost have two open, but no. This is just a thumbnail, right? It's just to
Yeah.
grab and
Yeah.
look at. When you bring it over here or over here, it makes it bigger over here.
Yeah, but is there a way to, instead of being able to see 9, to see, let's say 12?
Drag this over and make this smaller.
Well, the other thing Chad has
Can you
done is closed out the action side,
Yeah.
okay? And that will spread it across the page, so it gives you,
Yeah.
X out up by the
Yeah.
action.
I don't want to do that because I don't want to lose my action bar.
You
Oh, it's
don't,
easy to
you
do.
can get
No,
it
go
back.
ahead.
And then there's a button on, that little dot in the middle on the left
Below
there.
cover page,
Right below cover image.
all the way over to the left. Keep going left. Left.
Right
Up
next
the
to
other
it.
way.
Yep. Below right along
Yeah.
the edge.
Little bitty dot.
That little
next to
dot,
the
like,
picture.
click that and it'll bring your action bar.
I
back.
can't see colors, so I have colors. Okay.
It's black.
But you don't know a way to.
No, I don't know another
Okay.
way
No problem.
to do that. You know, I look at it here and I can't stretch this over. And I'll stretch this over and make this bigger.
Okay, so actually you can, if you click on the gear, you click on the gear here and then you go to settings, you can actually change your default image size right there.
That's
But
that's
that's gonna
that's
change-
Oh, okay.
that's what
That's
it's
where
for,
it comes in.
That's not looking at the thumbnails.
So that's not the thumbnail, okay.
That's what's gonna print, right?
That's how it'll come on the photos too.
Yes, Mike.
I've got a question for you on bringing your photos, you know, from those thumbnails up into your report. Before I upgraded to the latest and greatest 3D, I just double click on them, they'd open up, and I'd do my editing or whatever, and then when I save and next, I double click on them now and they won't open.
They just go straight in to the report, right?
Yeah, well, they go straight into the report, they don't open up where I can edit them.
They're down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an extra step.
Yeah, that's what they did for 12.
Well, if you single click it, it'll bring it up in the larger window right there where his cursor is, and then you hit the.
Yeah, I'm learning that, but yeah, it's an extra step,
Yeah,
extra
that was
clicks.
that was the change that they made in 12. Is it does. There's two double click modes. There's the double click here. It goes in the report.
Yeah.
Or there's this, or the single click goes over here. And I can put it there.
Yeah.
And I can annotate it and do my things. Or there's the single click here, and it goes in. It's like an import,
Yeah.
import.
It was easier the way it was before.
Yeah, but that didn't. That had a different photo editor. This is a different photo editor. Another question.
How do you insert the signature?
Awesome. So first you have to have a signature scanned.
Right.
So a JPEG preferably. If you have that, then it's go to Edit Inspection Templates, which is over on the action bar. One of them should be called First Page Index Master. Go to First Page Index Master.
This is on an open inspection you have to do?
No, it can be on anything you want. So over on your action bar, at any one time, you'll see,
That's what I'm saying, some of my stuff don't seem to be there. I may do.
Andrew, take a look at his. And then I just go to my signature page. I put my cursor on that line. And all I do is add like a picture. Put my picture image, and it goes right there. What you want to do is, before you put your picture in, Kent, you want to edit it.
Right.
So
You mean size-wise? and
Drop it down as small as you can.
it fits it, but I'm gonna do this, right? So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hit. I hit my picture,
whole picture up there.
and I want to make sure that I don't have a frame around it. Right now, all of our pictures are defaulted to have a frame.
Or not.
Or not, however you want it. But you want to make sure there's no frame around it, and the picture, the signature's about the right size. In our case, I have found that our picture size on this is between a 1 and a 2. So somewhere in there works, depends on how big you scan and all those things. That's what you're saying. Brad?
Rob, now you're saying that, is that a new index page that you have?
No.
Okay.
No, the only new thing on the index page is we added, in the Naperville office, all of that
My
important items.
Okay, I always end up with an extra
like the new user.
Yes.
blank page.
And that's from the page setup. So if you go to, the question is, when Brad is writing a report,
Right now,
he gets a lot of extra pages
not working through.
after the
I had
index.
to use Corel.
You might get one every once in a while.
It wasn't?
But when you go through the steps that we laid out here
We reloaded this?
and the page setup,
Kept giving me the error file.
that would help eliminate
And
that.
that, you and I worked that together, and I've got it set at half a page.
Okay.
And I'm still getting,
I'm still just using my
and then
Corel.
there's something, and he was saying,
It's the default gray line that's at the bottom of it that screws it up somehow.
So there's one more place that there could be a problem. So the one more thing that I wanted to talk about today, I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this. I'm going to go back up to, I want something blank. I'm going to go to word processor. Who here has changed their footer to be 2016 yet? Or are you still running 15? Or 14? Or 13? Or 12? Or 7? Are you guys, you guys are laughing, so is that a problem with you guys? You
We're 2025, man. We're way ahead.
guys are bleeding edge. Awesome.
You're good for another 9 years.
Good for the renewal. If you go to File, open a document, you're going to see that we have a BK header footer doc.
Where did you start this at?
Word processor, File, BK header footer doc, and you're going to see that that's where we're defaulting. So I had this problem, Brad, that every time I printed a darn report, I got like 5 extra pages, and it was just all jacked. And as it turned out, I had a whole bunch of flummoxy, extra, superfluous, pick the word, enters. Because somebody I know gets really excited, and when it doesn't work right the first time, you hit that button 100 times. And I just took this page that should be naked and hit enter like a whole bunch of times in the middle, so that every time I wrote a report, it jacked everything else up.
Correct.
And so I ended up having to put a support ticket to 3D, sent them my files, and they said, Rob, you're all jacked up.
Yeah, it's all.
And so I needed to go to View, Display Control Codes, and I needed to make sure I didn't see a bunch of that. See a bunch of that?
Paragraphs.
Yeah. Mike, he's going, yeah, Dad, you're so dumb. And that was me, because I get all excited. Because it didn't work right the first time. So what's the first thing you do? You shake the handle 100 times and it'll work eventually. That's what I did. And then once I did that, I'm good to go.
How do you change the date?
All right.
Which document is it?
Yeah, double click
So,
or right click.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to change the date. So,
Click on it.
yeah, no, it won't. It keeps jumping up. So I have to go to format, paragraph. No, how do you do that?
Right.
Right-click
You
on
always
it.
right click on it.
Oh, that's, yeah. Right click on it and then edit footer. And then you
All
can,
right, how do you go back one more step?
Yeah, Rob, where did?
so I'm here. I go down here, see my cursor?
What did you open to get to that?
Just scroll down.
The
Oh,
VK header. footer.
so you have to go to VK header footer in word processor.
Word processor.
Now, do you save it, or what do you do?
Word processor is in your action bar.
And
Open a document.
So you don't have it, so you gotta open
Right
document.
here. Open a document,
See this file here?
and then find VK header footer, open that,
Oh.
scroll down,
Header footer, yep.
right click, edit footer, and then Dave Brem can move from 2025 to maybe, I don't know, 2045, 50, very optimistic. After cyber gets taken over the world.
Just change it to a 6.
And then hit save, and now every page of your report that utilizes the footer will all be accurate to this year.
So we've run into the problem where we misspelled the client's name, which shows up on the footer. There's no way to fix that once you started that inspection, is there?
No.
Well, there is if you use the merge feature to start a new job and then use the merge where you put the two together. So if you come across that problem, I won't bore everybody with it, but if you come across it again, call me. I can walk you through that stuff.
Okay.
I've many times just mea culpa.
Yeah, that's what we did, but it,
But I don't worry about it too much, because the name is correct on the main header page, if it goes on the bottom and all.
so you can change everything in, when you're editing a job in office management, except for the job name.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so one of the things we do on every job, one of the things we do, again, if you look at what we call the new branding standard, we have a very specific order that we like and that plays very well with our clients. It's the beauty shot, the cover, followed directly by the summary. Because isn't a good portion of the summary a thank you? It says thank you in it. I'm signing it. So it's it's a summary. And then followed that immediately by the index, followed by the report, and at the end of the job, that's where we put our contract, or addendums, or anything else that we might be adding.
You guys know how to change the order?
You guys understand how to change the order of printing?
I didn't quite get that.
To change the order of printing when you print something, like add. Why don't you come over here, Andrew, and add like 4 or 5 things. Just take things.
Well, I mean, I've selected and deselected a lot of crap that I don't need to add in there, but as far as like, if I wanted to put my,
So Andrew just added a whole bunch of documents in the attachments. And so he could very easily make one higher and one lower for the client. We always want our covers first. And so we want the cover, then we want the contract, or the cover, then the summary, and then the report, and then.
bingo, that's
Yep.
what I would do.
And you can just do that.
I gotta do that every single time.
Yeah.
Is there a way? Okay.
You do it. because it doesn't know what you're
Print
printing.
and
Just
bring
like
it
you could
everything.
say,
You
you know what,
just
print the report, but I don't
Click on
want,
what you want, you can move it
you know,
accordingly.
there's many a times, you might go back and do an addendum.
Our index was talking.
I'm gonna add, so Andrew,
On that last job, yeah, I noticed yours.
so I'm writing a report here. Once you put it on, let's add an addendum. So we're writing an inspection report. I wrote it. So let's go back to office management. And go to what job I did, like a full job. That one, that's a real job. So I got this job I did last week. So here's this job I did last week. It was a nice house. It was a lot of fun. There's some real screwed up dog damage. So they called me up and wanted me to go back and re-inspect the dog damage. And so rather than filling out another inspection report, I want this all whole part and parcel to this job, right? So remember the old addendums that we used to have to do handwritten? So I go over here and I do, it's in, no, it's up in, it's right here. Cover sheet. I guess I did. Yeah, so Anthony's going to add the addendum. I add the addendum to this report. Then when I print it, I would deselect all of the pages of the report, but the original report page, then my addendum page, and then hit print J, and then I'm done. That's why I deselect.
That's kind of like I've done like on re-inspection, so.
That's not added for you?
I found it.
You did? Okay. I just have so much coverage. But if you don't have the addendum, you'll have it by the end of this session for sure. But we have all that and able to install. All that's created by using the word processor. Mike?
I was just going to give a tip that I like. I don't like creating cover pages and summaries, so you can make them a part of your first page master index, and you never have to create them; they just pop up automatically.
Good idea. Good idea. That's just copy paste that whole summary. Yep.
I need more information on that.
On what?
On what he just said. I'm sorry, I was playing games on my phone here.
So did you level up on Russell, or are you okay?
It's Clash of Clans he's playing.
It's Clash of Clans?
Got to plan more, very important.
So Andrew?
Listen up. I'm not the only stupid one here.
You're looking at the
I'm
other
only
one.
talking to him, but I'm talking real loud.
You're looking at the other one. So what Mike said, a very interesting thing. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if I go to edit, inspection templates, first page, master index. What Mike has done, when you open this up, I have all of this fun stuff. If I go to here, I would want to go to the next full page, which that's going to...
No, you want to put it at the top because it's your cover page. Because you guys do cover page, then summary, and then index. So
yeah,
you want to do.
I have to do it at the end of the summary. So I'd have to open up or word processor, file, summary, and then I'd have to highlight all that, copy it, then do file, open a new document, and I'm going to open up our cover. There's the cover. This is the cover in the pre-executed. This is the cover in its 3D look. And then I go to the end of that and hit paste. And I want to hit it as formatted text. hit save. So now my cover would automatically populate with the summary attached to it. I wouldn't have to do two documents.
But you can take this, all with your cover page and the summary, and then copy all that, put it at the top of your index page, and then, so I use a tablet, so I take a picture of the front of the house, and I never even look at it again. I never print a cover page, it's automatically there. Cool.
Yep, it's a nice saver. I'm gonna not save that.
Why don't you make a video of that and share it with everybody on a day?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yeah, no, you have a lot of these videos already.
I'll buy you lunch tomorrow.
Okay.
He already has it, so all right.
Yeah, you have a lot of these videos done, but this one I'll put a lot of there's a lot of tutorials like this that we've already got on the board that we're going to create this next quarter, hopefully. Any other questions? Report right in.
On the action side,
Yes, sir.
on attach inspection documents, is there a way of moving those,
Is there a way of what?
moving those things around?
Absolutely.
I mean, because I hate having to find the doggone report.
Absolutely.
That should be the very
So,
first
so,
thing. I do.
so if you go down to customize my actions,
Yeah.
then go to the attach go back.
Where's customize my action?
The very bottom of the action bar.
It's because of the way this comes. I got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
You get customize my action. Andrew's going to scroll down to the attach inspection documents tab, caret.
Yep.
There they all are,
Right.
in their glory. If you don't like the order of any of those, all you got to do is highlight it and caret up.
If you don't like where your attached inspection document, the main file is, if you just click on that and hit the caret up, it now moves that up your entire action bar.
Good night.
Convenience at its finest.
So then it moves it farther up bar over here on the left.
Outstanding.
So you have the ability to tweak around and play with these things.
Any other?
You guys feel free to ask any questions on 3D throughout this conference anytime. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Any other general questions
So what I'm
pertaining today? No, I'm
It
sorry.
should be simple, but if, in case we do go in and maybe I wanted to add my multi-summary to my cover page like we just discussed, so that I only have to click the one thing. Now, one thing that I consistently run into is when I go in and say I finished my complete report, I'm about ready to go, but I always go back through, and it might be just me, but I double check everything. I want to make sure that I got everything in the summary. I want to make sure I got all my pictures in there, everything like that, one last time before I attach it and send it out. So one thing I'll run into is if I get all the way done and I think I found something that I wanted in the summary and I didn't have it in there initially.
Right.
So I go back in and I add that to the summary.
It gets angry.
I actually have to delete my summary
No,
page and
you do
read
not.
it.
You do not.
Or how
Ready?
do you- Okay, so that's what I want to know is how to do
Okay.
that.
So what Colby had happen is, he's writing a report, he hits everything in the summary, he reviewed his summary, or his cover, or any other Word document that he created, and he goes, poop, I forgot that thing. Fill in the blank. If you go to, so here's the summary's done. So now, poop, I had a problem. If I tried to open up summary again, it's going to give you, you've already got this, it's already been finalized. So if you go to word processor and hit file, it says attach a document, open an attached document. If I hit the open attached document, those are the ones that we've previously attached to this job. If I open that up again, I can edit it. So now, you take a look, no, let's just all, real quick, it's one of those, ready, like a magician? Pick a number, I'm gonna write the number down, now I'm gonna try to guess it, right? So let's everybody focus, Andrew, go down, and let's focus on exterior doors. You see how building proper, structural, I've only got one comment. Close that out, please. Not the big one, just file close. Now let's go back to the report writer, building proper, exterior doors. And go there, and let's add enter, and then put another one in. And so, if right now I go to summary, it's not going to know it's there.
Okay.
Now, if I open it up, if I open it up again, it'll be there. Because I open it up from that spot. Now, if I scroll down,
It's actually got your two spaces.
yeah. Yep, and it showed up. So that's how you play with it. Is you gotta reopen it from the other spot.
And then when you save it, it's done.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you save that, it's incorporated.
Yep.
Okay.
I got it. I don't know how many times I've had to delete a
Oh, I do
summary
it all the
page,
time.
and then re-add it, and then respace my stuff so it looks nice again, you know, it's like, geez, I just did this 3 times.
Well, usually what I've had to do is I'll just copy and paste.
No, I'm sorry, what you just didn't go. I opened the same one as before. I have to go to attach a document, and I gotta go back to that summary again. So I gotta go back to my multi-summary, click it, okay, it's gonna say you've attached it already. I do it one more time, that's where it's at. I have to reattach it again. It's only allowed to attach the same document once, I gotta reattach it again.
Okay, yeah, I see what you missed that last.
Yeah,
I've copied and pasted with the same document.
I have to, but this way, it's clean, and it's always in the mesh. Anything else, guys?
By changing that date, that just shows people that you're updating